Well, 2020 is nearly over, and what that means for the future is anyone's guess. But what we do know for sure is that this past year has changed things in Portland. For better or worse, some of these changes appear to be here to stay. This week, Willamette Week took a look at some of the lives forever changed by 2020. Joining us to talk about the issue is Willamette Week news editor Aaron Mesh. Thanks for being here, Aaron. We appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Let's start with the obvious here. COVID-19 changed how we function as a society, and you spoke with several people whose lives were upended. What stood out to you from those that you spoke to?
What stood out to me is the stories of people who describe themselves as long haulers, people who had the same virus that many of us had in this year, but who are still struggling with the symptoms of COVID-19 months later. We spoke to a woman named Amy Watson, a preschool teacher who has had a fever for 280 consecutive days. We spoke to another man, a game developer named Scott McClellan, who lost 40 pounds and is still having irregular heartbeats. The degree to which this virus has not only taken people from us, but also transformed lives in some really negative ways is hard to fathom.
Obviously, the other big story, protests, another event that will have a lasting impact on Portland going forward. We had 100 consecutive nights of protests, as you know. How did that unrest impact the Oregonians that you spoke with?
What really stood out to me is the degree to which the protests and the toxic atmosphere that developed around them, especially when the president sent in federal troops, how that touched the lives of people who never attended a protest. I keep thinking about Christopher Frizen, who is a maintenance worker at a North Portland hotel, the Residence Inn by Marriott, and one day he went to fix a clogged toilet in a hotel room in room 428, and the man who answered the door was pointing a gun at him. It turned out that guy was a Homeland Security officer who was in town trying to tamp down the protests. And the trauma that this maintenance worker experienced of having a semi-automatic weapon pointed at his chest when he's just trying to fix the toilet, that just sticks with you.
Finally, this year has forced a lot of people to pick up some new and at times strange hobbies. What did you find when you looked at how people were spending their time this year, which was unique for everybody?
Well, everyone's stuck in a box, right? Like everybody is living in their own boxes. We're eating out of boxes, when it comes to like takeout food. And what really is striking and might last a long time, along with outdoor dining, is cannabis sales. Cannabis sales set immense records this year, broke through in a way that they never had before. And it does seem like people are self-medicating.
All right, Aaron Mesh, a lot to think about for this year and going into the next year. Thanks so much for joining us again. You can read the entire article in the latest edition of Willamette Week on newsstands now or online at wweek.com.